All right, welcome back to the Athlead Podcast for this evening edition of the Athlead Podcast. And bear with me here, battling this cold, so you're going to have to deal with this nasaliness for the remainder of this hour. So, Joe, I want to start off with a story. I just thought this was funny. It wasn't funny when it happened, but it just kind of goes to show how some people are, especially people with a lot of ego. We talk about ego all the time and being how important it is, especially for leaders, to be humble. Well, here's the opposite of that. Okay. So I was planning to meet this gentleman for coffee and talk about business, nothing too crazy, but just he had some pretty, cool things going on, and he had been setting up a lot of business entities. So I just wanted to kind of meet, just hear about what he's got going on, how I can help. And we decided to meet at Starbucks for coffee. Well, I'm rolling up there, and as I'm walking up, I see him, and he's on his phone like this. Okay. And I go up to him, I'm like, "Hey, you want coffee?" He's like, "Yeah, give me an Americano." I said, "Okay, fine." So walk in there, get two Americanos. I come out, still on his phone. Then I sit down at the table, put his Americano at his seat. I'm sitting at mine. Start drinking mine. 10 minutes goes by. He's still on the phone. And not only that, after 10 minutes, he sits down, still in this conversation. Like, he's like, "Yeah, well, basically what you do is you got this, and you got to bring on these customers." Ended up, you could tell this guy's got some sort of life insurance pyramid scheme going on. I was like, okay,
Oh God.
like, it's almost like he told me everything that he's got going on, which is, and hey, more power to you. If that's your thing, go for it. I mean, obviously it's a lucrative business. I feel like I hear more and more about that nowadays. Do you want to start a franchise? You hear that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, gets off the phone. It's, we were supposed to meet for coffee like noon. It's like 12:20 at this point. Like, it's ridiculous. So he's like, "Yeah, what's going on?" Anyway, we started having a quick conversation. He was telling me a little bit more about what he's got going on and kind of confirmed what I expected. And then before I could get another word in, man, I see the phone go off. And it wasn't
I
like,
thought you were gonna say, "Here comes the sales pitch."
well, he was gearing up for that.
Yeah,
And,
for sure. Yeah.
and basically, what I was just doing is just kind of reaching out, being like, "Hey, man, like, if I think we could help, your business entities, especially if you're franchisers, like, or I guess it'd be franchisees, excuse me, you know, hey, give me 6 of your leadership, or 6 of your franchisees, and we'll spend the month with them, teach them leadership, get them off and rolling, like, something like that." And then he completely just ignored what I said, and he started going into a pitch about how, he could, bring me on and all that kind of stuff. But then the phone goes off, and I'm seeing it go. I'm seeing the light without missing a beat. Just one sec. Goes into another 15-minute phone conversation while I'm sitting at the table. Now, granted, guy's got nice suit on. He's a millionaire without a doubt. Like, he's got the silver fox hair going and all this stuff. Nice watch. But at some point,
What color was the suit?
it was navy blue.
Yeah, I feel like the color of the suit always gives it away. Like, yeah, like maybe I'm being too judgmental, but
No, and trust me, I think the same thing, right? But I got a 1 o'clock meeting. Like, I got to get back
yeah,
downtown.
dude.
And it's like 12:45. Okay. And he's been on the call now for again, it was probably 15 to 20 minutes or something like that. At this point, I'm just looking at him. I'm boiling. Try to keep my cool. But at some point, I'm like, dude, in order to make this meeting, I got to leave like 12:45, 12:46. I'm already going to be late. So I just get up and I'm just like, "Hey, I got to get back for a meeting. It was great chatting with you. Let's catch up sometime soon." And he's just like, he looked it was almost like nobody's ever done that to him. And he was like,
Yeah.
"Hold on." He was like, "Hold on a second. Hey, I kind of got an idea about what you're doing. Let me brainstorm. I'll get back to you." He never got back to me, man.
What the
It was
fuck?
just,
Wait, did you reach out to him?
I reached out to him. And because I just, I always like to talk to these kind of guys, these mover and shakers kind of guys, and just kind of like to pick their brain about what they're
Yeah.
doing from the business side. And, and just, and we've done some work with him in the past. But, yeah, I was just like, let's just see what happens. But dude, if that wasn't a waste of money, luckily I just had some cash on me. Like, I just
Yeah.
kind of was like,
Right.
yeah, let me just pay this. But I'm like, the balls on this guy to do something like that. And I guess I'm assuming he does this with a lot of people. But here he is, the CEO, and if he's doing it to me, I'm sure he's doing it to his employees too. And
Oh, dude, if he's
and
doing
they're
it,
just like, I don't have a
if
choice.
he's doing it to a random person. Imagine what he's doing to somebody that he knows.
Yeah, that's just like the
Yeah.
most disrespectful thing. And I feel like the most, in order to kind of save my pride, I'm like, I'm not gonna let him waste my time anymore, and I'm certainly not gonna waste his time. So yeah,
No,
here we
yeah,
go. Isn't that crazy though?
dude. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're gonna offer someone your time, you should be willing to value their time. You know what I mean? Like their time's more, their time's as much like just as valuable as mine. You
Absolutely,
know. So
absolutely.
y- I feel like when I started viewing like the world, like I feel like when anyone views the world that way, which most people do, like your time's a very valuable asset. Like, why would I waste an hour of my day to watch you walk around in a parking lot on a cell phone? And on top of that too, that's just very rude. You know,
100%.
like aside from you just doing that, like the act itself is rude, whether it's about business or whether it's like we're meeting up for a coffee as friends. It's just like not a good thing to do. I feel like it's extremely inconsiderate. Like block your calendar like an adult. Like,
Or just, hey, my, uh, someone a meeting is here. Let me call you back. And then if the phone's going off, hey, if it's even something important, just pick it up and say, hey, can I call you back in like 20 minutes? I guarantee there's not a life-threatening emergency. If this is emergency, do what you got to do. Your wife's calling, something like that. Hey, is everything okay? As soon as you hear everything's okay, like, okay, can I call you back in like 30 minutes?
yeah,
I'm
for
meeting with a
sure.
client right now. But give respect and be present with who you're talking to. Like, cause that's like, show them respect. You don't know what opportunities could lead from that person you're meeting with down the road, or you can just burn the bridge, man. And now I'm like me, I'm like, hell with that guy, man. Like, I don't, there's better uses of my time and there's more
Dude,
opportunities down the
yeah,
road.
man. Like well, I don't know if I've never had an experience like that, thankfully. I'm sure I've had, but I just can't remember it. I've definitely had some experiences going through the hiring process, transitioning out of the military that were just same neighborhood, different house, just made my blood boil. Like I think I told you about the one interview where I mean it was truly a waste of time. I'm not gonna say that like I'm sure the guy's extremely kind. I'm not gonna say um, where he was at. I mean, both when you book me to speak and this is not I don't know if I'll get support from the veteran community, but like it was very he had literally said the only reason why I'm speaking to you is because you're a veteran. And I was like, brother,
Thank you for telling me. Why did you
thank
need to tell me that?
yeah, dude. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I remember when he told me that I was sitting here like because you got to think, man. Like and I handled it well. I'm like, hey, like, look, with you, it was my first. It was legitimately like my first interview in med device sales. And I was completely not qualified for. Well, I don't think yeah, I mean, I just wasn't qualified for what he was looking for. Like I never worked in the sector before. It was a more of a senior role. So I'm like, with that, dude, I appreciate that, but there's so many other ways you can tackle telling somebody that. And like I have not been in corporate America or working America that long, but like if I'm him, I'm going like, hey man, look, I really appreciate your service, and that is why, like, that's the baseline of why I want to talk to you. You have very good traits and qualities on your resume or on your CV. Um, I don't think you're a good fit for this role, but I want to keep you in the stack for maybe an associate level role or maybe more of a junior level role, so you can start out and you can learn the device and then work your way up. And it was just like that. Like, you could just say that instead of like, hey man, the only reason why I booked you on my calendar, and the only reason why you're sitting in a fucking sports coat like an asshole in your at home office, um, is because you're a veteran, and that's it. Like, that's
Thanks.
crazy. That is crazy to say to somebody, because
Thanks. That
the
made my
veteran,
day. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The veteran community is gonna love to hear that. Like,
It just goes I mean, again,
well, it's just,
well,
I think people in general, like, I wish I remembered the quote. It was correlated to this. Like, I think oftentimes people, it's like instilled in us to always think like, when someone's driving slow on the road, they're driving slow, and you're behind them. They're driving slow because they're just dumb. They're doing it on purpose. They're trying. No, dude, they might have like a legit
yeah,
disability. They
yeah,
might have gotten into a wreck 2 years ago and they're petrified to even go, close to the speed limit, which is dangerous. But like, there's stipulations that might be literally affecting this person. Instead, I think in human nature, we're so like, you're doing this on purpose to be malicious. When in reality, I think a lot of people aren't. Like, the dude that I interviewed with, for example, he said that probably to make me feel good, because he knew I wasn't qualified, and I knew at the end of the day, like, probably not the best thing to say or the best way to say it, but I know he didn't mean it to like insult me in a way. You know what I mean? Like, he was doing the best he could to like navigate around, you know, being like, hey man, you're just not what I'm looking for.
yeah, and
And
maybe he needs to work on his tact a little bit.
yeah,
Like, you know,
maybe your delivery could be better. Like,
his how his delivering. Yeah,
the
yeah.
dude that your situation, like, I just think that comes down to manners and being rude. I can see it in sales though a little bit, where like sales reps are like very much like, oh shit, gotta answer, gotta answer, gotta answer, because it's like money that, out of
Yeah,
their pocket. But like, at the same time, like, he has no idea what you could bring to the table,
great point.
and
Great
like,
point.
it's still like the time he spends with you could lead him to other ventures to expand his portfolio. Look at
And
that, dude. I
honest
sound
and
so corporate right
you're
now.
100%, dude, you're on fire tonight. No, I think you're exactly right. And I think that the ego gets inflated, especially when you've had success, right? And all of a sudden it's
100%.
kind of like you just reached the stardom. Like, when a lot of these athletes are now reaching that fame, and all of a sudden it's like that ego gets so inflated that your manners just go downhill. Like, and you start losing that humility. In fact, that humility is what's going to even make you even better.
Dude, I saw this video of LeBron James after the Olympics within the last, like, I don't know, like, dude, my memory's so shot, but like within the last time Team USA like won the gold or whatever. So I think like 2 years ago in Paris, right? Is that a year ago?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
LeBron James is walking into a club. There's a 15-year-old kid there, and he runs up to him rudely and egregious. And it could be a little sketchy because it is LeBron James. He's the biggest NBA star, arguably, of all time. And the kid walks up to me. He's like, "Can I have an autograph? Can I have an autograph?" And LeBron stops him dead in his tracks, looks at him with this like death stare, like, "Don't do that." And then keeps walking. And the only thing that I could think of was the time when I was in the 6th grade, I met Brian Dawkins.
Tell us
And
this
I was
story.
just
Yeah.
like, dude, if Brian, like, one of my all time favorite Eagles, if Brian Dawkins, when I met him and I was like, hey, can I have a picture with you? If he said, you don't do that, man, and walked, I would have never been an Eagles fan ever again. It would have ruined my outlook, like, on the Philadelphia Eagles and professional. So I would have been like, dude, that was such a foul experience. Like, my hero just let me down. And that kid, man, like, I almost want to like ask LeBron James, like, dude, who did you look up to at 15 that was a basketball player?
Yeah. Just
or
this minor, what you would consider like this minor little brush off is going to be implanted on his brain for the rest of his life. And
he's
that's
probably
all
not even
and he's
thinking of
going to
it, dude.
tell stories about that to it. Like that,
Dude, yeah, man. And it's just like
yo,
you got to give back to the replacements, dude. Like these kids that
yeah,
are coming up are going to be the people that are replacing you in the league, that are going to carry on a legacy, that are going to fucking want to play the sport, want to market the sport, want to work in the sport, you know? Like
yeah,
I have a lot
yeah,
of friends that have always I have a friend right now, he really wanted to work in sports and he would be very successful in it. But like I don't know why he doesn't, but like that was his dream. And I think that he never really opened up to me about it. Like I think he may have had a pretty foul experience in one of his internships. Because sports also pay terrible if you're not an athlete. like, but it's just like shit like that, man. I'm like the ego and the fame and the inflatedness, like just gets to you, dude. And I think that you're just like, you forget what it was like to be the kid chasing the dream and looking up to someone like that keeps you disciplined to chase the dream, you know?
and one of the things I always think about, I think it was Kobe Bryant that mentioned this, and was that one of the reasons, and obviously, look, Kobe Bryant was fallible. Nobody's perfect, but honestly, man, I don't think there was a harder worker in the history of sports than Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant. And one of the things that I just appreciate that he said was that I play every game, whether I'm sick, whether I'm hurt. I play it for the person that spent a fortune to buy a ticket to a Lakers game, seeing Kobe for the first time. That's why I play. And I'm like, if you just apply that mantra to everything that you do, especially when you reach that level, because here's the thing, you're so damn lucky to be in that position. Now, a lot of hard work is a part of that, but all the same, it's like you're one of the privileged few that gets a chance to be at that level. And you have your influence is going to carry on, and you're going to make a huge impact on people's lives. Like that's just,
Yeah, dude.
so I just love that mentality. And listen, it's a good segue for what we wanted to chat about tonight. So you and I had a conversation last week about some ways we can kind of put out some good content for our audience. And I thought that one of the cool ways of doing this was, let's you and I come up and figure out a way to arrive at the greatest sports leader of all time. And how could we do this? And we were talking about this. Maybe a good way to do this would be like a March Madness bracket, where we pick the top 32 leaders, sports leaders, in our opinion. What we think. And obviously, this would be full disclaimer. This is not the exhaustive list. Maybe we target the most well-known, so that we can kind of, because obviously, there's going to be some leaders out there that there's just no content on, and it's going to be hard for us to kind of measure this and figure out in a way how we can score them. But basically the idea, as I said, we come up with 32 leaders, sports leaders, and we score them, and they go head to head, battle it out, just like March Madness. And eventually we arrive to the final four, eventually we arrive to the final, and then we arrive at who we think is the greatest sports leader of all time. And I think it'd be fun. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be great. It's gonna be like the toughest draw ever. Cause like I have like when you say that, it's one of those questions where like this is gonna sound, dude, I don't want to sound biased. Like, but like the first person that comes to mind is like Nick Saban.
So hear me out on this.
Do we want to keep it athlete and then do a coach bracket? Because I think an athlete and a coach's bracket would probably be best because then it'd be too hard.
Yeah, I think we keep it athletes first. So
Yeah.
players. And then we do a separate coaches if we want to do that. Because I think it's just going to be hard. And I think let's keep it simple. Let's just keep athletes. come up with the 32 greatest athletes, and we'll go from there. See how that works, and then obviously we can do coaches at some point, because I think that would be a whole separate awesome discussion. Just kind of diving into that. So let's take the time now to figure out who's going to be on this list, and here's kind of what I'm thinking too. I'm just going to share my screen really quick. So what we can do each week, if I can, here we go. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking. We do a bracket just like this. And once we come up with the 32 names tonight, if we can do this in this short period of time, fill them in. And then each week we're going to just dissect the matchup, figure out who wins and moves on. Sound fair enough?
Yeah, that works with me.
All right. Okay. So one of the things I did was I used AI, and I said, give me the top 32 athletes of all time, athlete leaders, of all time. And so I'll start rattling off some names. Where I need your help is, do they make the top 32 list or not? So we can just kind of say some names, and then we can kind of be like, look at each other, be like, maybe let's give a thumbs up. And then I don't know how you want to do this.
Dude, I'm down with that. That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Like yay or nay. Okay. So according to AI, and by the way, I don't even think Brian Dawkins is on this list. I just went ahead and added him because I'm like, that's a great one to start with.
But dude, honestly though, dude, it's like Brian Dawkins definitely isn't on that list, but like, he's on my list.
Well, maybe he is though, man. I don't know, because he was a hell of a motivational speaker.
The guy will make you want to run through a brick wall.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, I think he makes.
Dude, there's gonna be a lot of people that, and this is why I want to say this to the audience now. There's gonna be a lot of athletes that aren't on it.
Yeah,
because there's gonna be a lot, and we might have to do this separate by leagues, because I just watched a video of some of the injuries that NHL athletes are playing with during the Stanley Cup playoffs.
It's just, you're right. It's it is a different caliber, man.
The Flyers had a defenseman playing with internal bleeding, and
that doesn't surprise me though.
Travis Konechny was playing with a fractured rib. I'm like, dude,
I heard a story, dude. I heard a story.
The list is like on and on and on and on, dude. Like,
well, Ovechkin. Okay, I heard a story from his old coach, Bruce Boudreau, and he said that there was one night where Alex Ovechkin had 18 stitches on his leg, and I don't know why that was. And the trainer kind of went up to Bruce and was like, I don't know if he's gonna go. I don't know if he should go tonight. And Bruce walked up to Ovechkin and was like, Alex, I mean, are you good to go? And he's like, and Alex's response was, Coach, Russian machine never breaks.
That's the scariest thing I've ever heard.
He goes out and scores three goals, 2 assists, and played lights out. No problem. And again, that's like insane, man. And, insane. He is incredible. Just the fact that the only time I think he was ever injured was when he broke the record last year, and he broke his leg, and he came back within 4 weeks.
Like all-time most goals, right?
Yeah. 100%. So, okay, let's just start rattling off some names here.
Yeah, let's do it. I got
number one on the list right now, according to AI, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's what AI gave me too.
Here's the thing. Some of these guys, I don't know shit about.
It's
going to have to be, like you said, this is a good way to start, but it's going to be our opinions. And we're going to do before each episode, we're going to do a deep dive and get as much content as we can.
For sure.
Highest scorer of all time. I don't have a reason to deny him, to be honest with you. So here's what I'm going to do.
Scorer of all time, Kareem?
Well, not anymore. And I think LeBron broke his record a couple years ago.
I think Kareem's number 2.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark him down as yellow, and I'm going to come back to him. The maybes.
The maybes will mark down as yellow. No offense to Kareem though, either.
Yeah.
Or any Kareem
no
fan.
offense. And obviously,
again, dude, we're football guys. We're
We're
football
football guys.
guys. Like,
And you made a good point. Yeah, man, it's like at some point maybe we do need to dive in and just do football, NHL. But I don't even know if we're gonna be able to do an NBA. I don't know. I really don't know much about the
I
NBA. I
don't
mean, I'm just
watch
gonna
the
be
NBA.
honest. And AI is very NBA friendly for some reason. So
AI
anyway,
is NBA friendly.
yeah. All right, number 2 on the list, Ray Lewis.
Unbelievable. That's a no-brainer. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Dude,
You guys
yes.
insane. Yeah.
The guy's
Yeah.
insane. I listen to Ray Lewis motivational speaks,
Yeah.
some like seminars when I'm working out sometimes just to
Yeah.
pump me up.
Work ethic, just the longevity. Think about that too. He
His
had a
his
long
last
career.
his last season, he lost 40 pounds
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he wanted to be faster. He went from
Yeah.
like 250 to 220 or 260 to 220 because he wanted to be faster on the field. And he said he was playing significantly better. He should have done it years ago, but he just like felt like losing 40 pounds. I'm like, do you know, like that's insane. Just that alone, the work ethic to do that during an off season is nuts.
And I grew up in Baltimore. I heard about Ray Lewis all the time. Definitely saw him quite a bit. I argue that he was the reason why they developed such a strong culture. I want to say it was 2000 when they won their first Super Bowl. Uh, their defense was
Was it?
incredible, and that was
Yeah.
spearheaded by Ray Lewis. Yeah, I mean, and I know well, I mean, honestly, but I could say the same thing. There's plenty of athletes that had some questionable things happen in college, and we won't get into that. But
Yeah, for sure.
nonetheless, turn it around just has been a benchmark for his family, the culture of the Ravens team. He is a god in Baltimore.
Yeah,
So
I was super pumped to see him retire as a Raven. Like
yeah,
never
that is
wear.
pretty cool that he stayed with the same team. And I got to give a nod to those kind of athletes that have just stayed with the same, because it's cool, man. I don't know how else to
Yeah,
describe
yeah,
that. Like, it's just,
yeah.
anyway. Number 3 I had on my list, Larry Bird.
I just again, dude, like I know a lot of people are like, I'm gonna get.
Do we need to just stick to football?
I think we just stick to football, dude. And like,
I'm happy to do that.
I'm gonna get a ton of hate for
Now,
saying
okay, here's the thing. Okay. I think that's the easy route on this one.
is
But
sticking to football.
let's keep it this AI generated. Okay, let's just stick to this. Whoever's on this list, we'll dive in. We'll find out more information about them. Like I said, it's hard for me to say, like, I'm going to say yes. Let's just keep it in. Let's
Yeah.
just try and stay true to this list. Unless there's a reason why you're like, I don't think he should be on there. And that's fine. But so we'll keep Larry on there. Right below him, Magic Johnson.
I would say so. And dude, like I don't want to speak on this because I just don't know my
Yeah.
history as well in basketball, but like I'm pretty sure that was a huge like I know Boston and LA, the Lakers is a huge rival.
That's right. Right next to Larry
Um,
Bird, it was
yeah.
competitive. They both
So
were the
it's
captains
like
of the team.
hyper competitive. I will be honest, during that era of basketball where it was like a brawl, I'm more of a Detroit Pistons, the bad boys. I think those
They
dudes
were
are
brawlers, man.
dude, they were fucking dude, that was a
Dude,
football.
you got a taste from that in Last Dance, like when they were talking about the days with Jordan, and he was a one man team. Was that the early '90s
Yeah, early
and or
90s, yeah.
late '80s, something like that.
Yeah.
But they would just hack the hell out of him. And hey, sure enough, next on the list, Michael Jordan. I think hands down.
That's just a no-brainer, dude. Like he globalized basketball. People will say he didn't. He did. His shoe is literally like
Yeah,
I wouldn't even imagine in a country that I don't know where it's not at, like not obviously not third world country, but like a country that has the ability to go and purchase basketball shoes or athletic sneakers, like the Jordan brand. Like I think because of that, it has made basketball just like completely globalized because of Michael Jordan. I could be wrong. Again, I'm not a basketball guy, but like I think with this list though, basketball is at the top because of how globalized it is. Like
yeah, that's a great point.
you don't have like football, like American football on this
Yeah,
list because like American football is played in America.
unless they're, and we'll get to some names that we're all going to recognize, but yeah, that is a great point. I wonder if that's where
Yeah,
AI is
that's
coming from
definitely
on
what
this
it
one.
is.
So here's what I'm going to do. Unless it's like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, like I'm going to give him a yellow and just we'll come back because these are some
Yeah,
replacements we may want to consider. Again,
for sure.
this is like forming the brackets, man. We want to make sure we have as best as we can do with our abilities and our opinions who's worthy of this list, right? After Michael Jordan, we got Tim Duncan, which I mean, listen, when I was growing up, that was my guy,
He was the man.
Mr. Fundamentals, right? Him and David Robinson, right? He was humble, he was consistent. You got the same performance out of him every single night, man. I
Yeah,
can't tell you if he's ever had a bad night. Like I used to love watching Tim Duncan.
yeah,
Just setting the culture. I think I'm okay with him coming in my
yeah.
opinion. Just
I'm good with that. Yeah, I'm good with that.
all right. Here's an interesting one. Okay, so number 7 on the list, Jackie Robinson. Damn, like that is
Yeah, I
talk
mean,
about courage despite.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, you want to talk about just leadership is the is literally like there's part like I would say is defined in like the courage to do shit before others because they don't want to.
Yep,
Like I
yep,
mean, you want to talk about setting the bar and then revolutionizing the game of baseball for an entire race.
yeah.
Jackie
I mean,
Robinson. That's a hands
he
down.
he completely transformed baseball, man. And despite all the pressure that guy was under, like, yeah, absolutely, he's
Dude,
in.
it's gotta be just the like I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like like it's just it's crazy when you look at like you people hate you for no good reason
your skin color. I mean,
for your
that was
skin
it.
color. That's
They
it.
knew he was a good ball player. They knew
And
he
he
was
knew it was
fast as
fantastic.
ever. Yeah, I
And
mean,
then
just
now you're gonna have the whole world like in baseball, it's hard enough, but then you also have the whole world stacked against you. Like quite literally, like no one wants you there. Like because people are just racist in that time. And people are still racist, but in that time in particular, like it was
just the courage, man. And just talking
yeah.
about getting influence and leadership capital, man. It's just like
Oh, dude.
you're the first one through the gate, you're gonna get bloody. And he did, and look what came of it, man. I mean, honestly, completely changed the game. So yeah, absolutely he's in there. Okay, we got some football coming up here. Number 8, Joe Montana.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. You know, I've heard like I don't know how accurate that is, but like that game-winning drive
Yeah.
when they were going in, um, I heard
Pull-
my buddy's dad told us a story that when they went into the huddle, everyone was just kind of staring at him, and then he like said to one of his linemen, he was like, "You see that dude right there?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he like said it was some famous actor. And the dude in the huddle was like, "What the fuck?" Like completely calm. like, like he was just like, "Dude, are you serious right now?" And they ended
yeah.
up winning the Super Bowl.
It was like the Iceman before, the term came to be. Good poise under pressure. Made his teammates believe they can win any game. Next, so he's in. We're in
Yeah,
on
I'm
Joe
good. Yeah,
Montana.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely,
Number 9, Peyton Manning.
100%, unquestionably. Like, dude, I just think, you know what I do love that I mean, we have Ray Lewis and Peyton Manning in the bracket, which is a no brainer.
Right.
Their battles.
Yeah.
And like, if you've ever listened to their interviews with each other,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
dude, he knew his wife's name. He knew he knew Ray Lewis's wife's name. Like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed would study Peyton Manning. Like, and I just think that healthy battle, like, I mean, Peyton Manning is one of the greatest of all time, but just I think that's so cool, man. That's what makes like I love that shit.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool.
Well, and it's just cool. I mean, just cool hearing these giants like talking about their playing days and stuff like that, and the trash talking, and
Dude.
I remember I thought I heard something that Ray Lewis said or Ed Reed said, one of the two, but they would like I think it was Ed Reed that said he studied Peyton Manning's Sorry, I'm off the camera here. He would study Peyton Manning's like reads, and so he would shift on purpose one way, knowing that Peyton's going to see him moving over, and then he's
And
going
he's
to
gonna
throw it,
do
and then he
he's
fire
gonna check.
back, and yeah,
Yeah.
he picked him. Anyway, it's just wild. I mean, imagine it. First of all, imagine a defense again. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. I mean, the Ravens were freaking stacked on D back in the day,
Dude, they were
man.
my favorite. Like they were one of my favorite defenses growing up because they just. I mean, they had Terrell Suggs too.
Suggs, Peter Boulware.
Dude,
I mean, geez, there's
and
some big names.
that middle linebacker set
Oh my God.
between Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs, like
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
you weren't. Imagine being two offensive guards having to.
you're pulling and you're going
That's
after
your
the
guy.
mic. You're
Hey,
going after
that's
Ray
you, dude.
Lewis.
You're pulling right
Jesus,
here.
man.
The middle linebacker's your guy.
I knew I
Ray
hated it. I
Lewis.
absolutely hated pulling. I was never quick enough to catch these guys. And I'm humble enough to admit that. Number 10, Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my, I got him on the wall. That's my guy.
Are you a Yankees fan?
So here's the thing. I've got an interesting little history, but I grew up in Baltimore.
Yeah.
But I honestly hated the Ravens, and it's mostly because my dad hated the Ravens. You know how you grow up and you're like,
Yeah.
you could,
Yeah.
like, not for good reasons. So here's kind of a cool story. So, my family, my dad's side of the family, were Lithuanian, okay, and they were really close with Johnny Unitas and his family because Unitas is Lithuanian name. They were Lithuanian.
Johnny
They would
Utah.
they would like share
Point Break.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's completely not real, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, we were close. So that we naturally were huge Colts fans, and my dad's side of the family were Colts fans. So when the Colts left, the whole state was devastated, man. And they left on the Mayflower, like it was a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
The Mayflower moving ban, all this kind of stuff. So, and then when the Ravens came to town, like, I'm not serious when I say this. I'm just being funny here, but I feel like half the team had like criminal charges. Like it was like it was a whole hard thing to adopt, at least for our family. But so and around that same time, our neighbor, and when I was growing up, had season tickets to the Eagles. And so since I was, 6 or 7, I've been going to Eagles games. I would go to the vet. I would, when McNabb started tearing it up, like that's where I came to be. And that's where I've always just been an Eagles fan. But not to say that, so anyway, and of course, all my friends growing up are all Ravens fans, and they were always dogging the Eagles. They would always play preseason, then just kick the tar off the Eagles.
Always play preseason
all the time, and I just naturally just developed this hatred. But now it's like a respect because it's like,
you have to respect the franchise and the players that come out of there.
100%.
I want to bring it back to McNabb because every time I hear his name, I get really upset. Patrick Mahomes is what Andy Reid was trying to get McNabb to be.
I get that.
Like, because Andy Reid was with Philly, not to fall off the rails here.
No, you're fine.
I think from 1996 to 2011. That was his tenure with Philadelphia. And he then goes to Kansas City, takes the job, and then he gets Patrick Mahomes, and now he's been in 4 Super Bowls, won 3.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, definitely. Something like that. The only 2 teams that beat him are the Patriots with Tom Brady, or no, Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. The Patriots did beat him in the playoffs, though, with Tom Brady, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Philly with Jalen Hurts.
That's right.
So it's like, I always saw that. I'm like, I just feel like Patrick Mahomes is what Andy Reid wanted Donovan McNabb to be. And Donovan McNabb was a fantastic quarterback.
He was great. I think he crumbled under pressure quite too often. I was just watching tape. I randomly just came on a TikTok of McNabb, and it gave me PTSD. And here's why. It's like game's on the line, McNabb's scrambling and just throws a pick. Stupid throw, stupid decision, and all of a sudden, the game's over. And I'm like, that's what McNabb would do. He would get us in the ball game. And then, but granted, he had that one famous throw to Freddie Mitchell on like 4th and 12 or something like that.
It was 4th and
It's
20.
longer than that. Yeah,
4th
yeah.
and 22.
That's right.
It
That's
was
right.
to
Like
Freddie Mitchell. It was on a post. It was on a deep post route. Freddie Mitchell, and he had that famous throw against
yeah,
Green Bay in
yeah.
the conference championship game. I remember watching it as a child. I specifically remember my mother and my father jumping. I was in the 4th grade. No, I was in the 3rd grade, and they jumped up, and like I couldn't believe he caught the ball.
Me neither. That was insane. I remember being so excited. But to kind of put a button on it, man, I just think it was just inconsistency. And with Mahomes, you get a lot more consistency as long as he's healthy. Like that's,
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
dude,
you know
I
what you're
was
gonna get.
I would when we played them in the Super Bowl, man. Like it was 17-0, and Katie's like, "Are you sure that you're like, why are you still nervous?" I'm like, I think Patrick Mahomes
Because
is
he
one of the
is,
greatest
that's what he
quarterbacks of all time.
does.
That's what he
It
does.
it's almost like, gosh, this is a wild reference. I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, but I would imagine, and you can back me up here if I'm right or wrong. It's almost like when the enemy has a sniper and you know it, and you're just like, there's a psychological thing. You're like, yeah, but at any moment they could get us. So like, we have to be extremely cautious. We can't be complacent. Like this is
Yeah,
just like, and I think Jocko at one point mentioned, he's like, if you want to strike, if you want to put psychological fear, you want to play psychological warfare, have a sniper out there because you don't know where they're at. They can strike at any time. You can't
yeah.
see them. It's just that, any bad reference, I know, but that's kind of that thing. It's
No,
just,
I
yeah,
mean
you never know. Yeah.
you just don't know, and then yeah, we could get into that too. That would be a much longer conversation. But between him, his ability, and then Andy Reid's clock and game management, I just think they're one of the best duos to ever do it.
Percent. All right. We got to keep moving on this list here. Otherwise we'll be here all night. So number 11, Chris Paul. I'm like,
I'm not.
I don't think he's making it. So I'm going to give him a red. And nothing against Chris Paul. I'm just thinking if we're talking about the 32 greatest leaders of all time,
Yeah.
it's kind of a stretch, man. All right, here's one that I'm not going to know anything about, but I think it's coming in. Mia Hamm for women's soccer. Do you know anything about Mia Hamm?
I know who Hope Solo is for
I know.
better for
Hope
better or
Solo.
worse. Like,
Yeah.
I know her because
I don't think Hope Solo is coming in. I'm just going to say.
yeah, I don't think she's coming in, but I'm pretty sure everyone thought she was hot for like throughout high school for a really long time. I know Zach Ertz's wife, Julie Ertz.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She played for Stanford. But
Who was also in that U.S. team? It's like a striker, if I'm saying that right.
I don't know. I don't know, but I
Anyway,
will say
not important.
soccer is unbelievably impressive.
It
I
really
couldn't tell
is,
you anything
man.
about it, but I dated a girl my freshman year. She was 2 years older than me. It was pretty cool. It was a big deal. Everyone was like, "Whoa, dude, that's cool." And I was like,
It's just downhill from here. No.
"Yeah, it's
It's
all
like
down over
for
here."
you. No, I'm
At
like, yeah,
peace.
because that was your
But
peak.
she
Yeah,
had explained to me like how hard it was to get a Division I soccer scholarship. Um,
I can imagine, man. Because I mean, that's
I
a
feel
tight
like
team. It's not it's not like a football team. You got 120 guys or whatever.
yeah,
So here's what because I mean, it's a very famous name, and I've seen clips and stuff like that. Mia Hamm's coming in. I think that's
yeah.
fair to represent the women's soccer. Absolutely. Number 13 is Abby Wambach, who I think is kind of a controversial character. I don't know.
I don't,
I don't.
I don't,
I don't
I can't comment on. I don't even know who she is. I feel like Shane Gillis. Did you ever see when he opened up for the Epsteins?
yeah,
Epsteins, and he was like, "Oh, this WNBA player is there," and everyone's like,
yeah,
"Yeah." Like, I'm the dude cheering, like, "Oh yeah," and they're like, "She doesn't exist. That was my
yeah.
barber's wife." Like, I couldn't
It's
tell
like
you
you
about
clearly
anything.
don't know who's in WNBA. And here's the thing: it's not fair because it's like, yeah, they're probably They should be on.
Dude,
And if
they're
I think
probably awesome, man.
I'm not, if I'm not mistaken, she was on the latest like U.S. women's like cup
Okay.
run or I don't know, the cup run or gold medal runs. One of um, here's the deal. Gonna be yellow for right now. We'll come back.
Yeah,
We
for
got Mia
sure.
Hammond. We got Mia Hammond. So okay, here we go. Lionel Messi.
I know nothing about soccer, man, but I know he's like the guy, right?
Yeah. Well, it's
He's
and then shortly following him, Cristiano
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. That's number two. Like that's
I mean, dude, if you're gonna give, I wish I knew because there's also another one, the big three. It's like
somehow.
Messi, Ronaldo, and then there's a British dude, and he couldn't be Bridget. Maybe he's not, but then there's like
It's
Beckham, David Beckham.
well Beckham. Yeah, for I mean, I will say this much. I think, and I don't, I'm speaking out of my ass here. I think that Beckham peaked, but it was a short term for with Man
Was
U.
it? Okay.
When we talk about Ronaldo and Messi, we're talking about longevity. And I think we got
Yeah.
to be very critical of that because it's like,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Beckham was on top of the world for a couple years there and did some great things with Man U, but I don't think he's still with these two. And there's a couple guys that I'm thinking of right now. There's one guy, there's a French guy, and I can't remember his name right now, but
I know
um,
nothing about soccer besides it requires a lot of cardio.
a lot of cardio, a lot of cardio. Here's what we're gonna do. I'll you know, I think we're gonna let those two come in. Number 16, Tom Brady.
I mean, you're talking about a potential winner of the bracket. I mean, his
We're
resume
talking
is,
about a Final Four right
yeah,
here.
we're talking about a Final Four right now. His resume
Yeah,
speaks for itself. 7-time Super
yeah,
Bowl winner. He was in the Super Bowl for literally is a century, 20 years.
yeah.
Okay,
Centuries, 100 years.
100 years. That's, oh gosh, Jesus. He was in the Super Bowl, I think, 11 times in in the
So the
time
better part of a century. Oh,
that
God, here, look at me. I'm saying it now. The better
yeah,
part of 20 years. He
the better
was,
part of 20 years. He was in
yeah,
more Super Bowls. That he was in over 50% of his seasons were Super Bowls. I'm pretty sure that could, but like regardless, 7 rings. And then the way he did it too, he got 6 rings with the Pats, and then he went
and then he goes and that his first year with this team, Bill. I mean, now granted, hats off to the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that year because they put together one hell of a team. That defense was insane. I mean, honestly, Brady could have had an off day, and I don't even think he had his best day that day. I
that
mean, it
defense
was,
showed up.
but it's still incredible the fact that he still was the leader of that team, and without a doubt, just the championships. Not only that, just his the accountability, the preparation. I mean, he was the cultural anchor of every team he's
100%.
been
Yeah.
on. So yeah, without a doubt. Um, so there's a couple I'm going to bring up here. You're not going to know this one. Have you read Legacy yet? Did the book that
Yeah,
Ray sent you?
I'm reading through it. Yeah. It's
Okay, so there's
great.
probably a name that you're going to recognize as Buck Shelford. Buck
Yeah.
Shelford was like the legendary captain of the All Blacks, and
Yeah.
there's some great content on. I'm reading right the captain class that Ray sent over, and I'm getting into some content with this guy. Let's let him come in, and because I
I
think
think that's a no-brainer because get like reading Legacy, it's just like it kind of it's like a bone-chilling book when they describe
yeah,
what it's like to go into some of these stadiums and play rugby. And then like
yeah,
I
you're
don't
talking
know
you're talking
again,
guys are that would be like
like a
it's almost like
legitimate,
a hockey class, like the where they're playing just banged up, broken noses, bloodshed. I mean, it's nasty, man,
yeah,
and that's
again,
a
like the
toughness character.
algorithm too. Like my iPhone's listening to me because when I read it, I go on my Instagram and I see like guys practicing rugby hiss. I'm like, this is the worst sport ever. Like what? I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like, dude, you guys just don't have all have shattered collarbones?
Well, it's funny because I got into this spirited conversation over a few beers with some Germans when I went to Oktoberfest 2 years ago. and they were like, I'm like, let me ask you something. Why don't y'all like, what do you like football? Like, what's American football? And they're like, no, it's too dangerous. Too dangerous. He's like, you guys have like life-threatening injuries every
You,
season.
you see
I
the
mean,
sport you guys play? You guys play
and I'm like,
fucking rugby.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what are you talking about? At least we had pads and stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, you know, I guess the comparison was to soccer. He's like, you're not going to get as many injuries in soccer, but nonetheless, it's like, but all the same, that's why you have such tight-knit bonds with
Yeah,
games like football and rugby, I'm sure,
for
is
sure.
because, yeah, you guys go through metaphorical hell to play the sport, and
Yeah.
that's going to tighten bonds. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to go ahead and say it because we're going to need a replacement anyways. Let's make a case for Brian Dawkins.
B-Dog all day. Bring him
Let's
in.
get him in. He's coming
Yeah,
in.
I
He's coming
don't
in.
that dude. Yeah, I don't need to hear anything else. I'm
Okay.
Brian Dawkins through and through. The guy makes
Okay.
people want to run through a brick wall.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's in. He's in. Um, all right. So here's another old timer, Yogi Berra. This was,
Old.
this is an old one. Um, but if I can make a soft case for it right now, it's like, I want to say he was a part of 7 World Series wins, something like that.
Yeah.
And he came in not the best looking guy. Like there was a lot of references to him that like he had like his ears were flared out and but in his style of play wasn't that great. He wasn't
Wasn't
even that great of a
great.
catcher,
No.
but he just completely turned it around. He worked with a couple coaches in the offseason, and then he just became like the most dominant. He's throwing guys out left and right, but he was one of the catalysts for just a lot of Yankees championship teams. I think representing, if you look at the captains, I know we only hit Yankees at this point, but I mean the Yankees are, what is it, the Steelers who are the most winningest NFL franchise, I think, or is it?
For like Super Bowls, I think it's tied between the Steelers and the Cowboys.
Okay, okay, so yeah, so I mean the Yankees are that to baseball, like so naturally we're going to be thinking about the Yankees, but
They have
I
20,
think this,
27 rings.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is a good representation for baseball from a leadership standpoint. Like we could put him up there with like Mickey Mantle, but I think a lot of people will say Mickey Mantle was a great ball player, but character-wise, I don't know. Like that's where you got to think about. This isn't so much just about ability and performance. This
Yeah.
is
This is
about the
like,
intangibles.
yeah,
Who can bring a culture together and grow a culture? That's what we're focusing on.
for
So,
sure.
uh, so I think Yogi needs to come in. Next, we have Bill Russell from the Boston Celtics. Now, I've fortunately been reading again. Shout out to Ray Ramos for the book. Thank you, sir, because it dives in deep with Bill Russell. Dude, Bill was a terror in defense. There was some statistic that it was a championship game, if I'm not mistaken. And this is before games were even televised. This is the crazy thing. So this is all like newspaper coverage, and there's stories about this. Some people saw this actually happen, and they stand by it. But apparently, there was a fast break to this was, and I forget who the hell they were playing, but the other team who was playing the Celtics, there was a fast break. It was like 2-0, and these guys were about to go do a layup. And Bill Russell ran what most people believe was a 4.27, if they did the calculation, 40-yard dash time. He ran that down the court and blocked the shot to save the game. And that's just one of many things. He was very humble, didn't like to talk to the press very much, just kept it within the team. And I think, and the Celtics are the most winningest franchise in the NBA. And it's mostly because of those years, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with
from
that
an NBA representation, I think he's up there for sure.
for sure.
Now, we can compare him to Michael Jordan and stuff like that. We'll get to that point at some point. Along the NBA train, Kobe Bryant,
100%.
100% in. We're not going to say anymore. We'll move on. Here's another name. I have no idea who this is. Steven Gerrard, who I believe was a soccer player. I don't even know who that is. Like I'm just, I know for our UK audience, you're probably absolutely hating me right now. Forgive me, but like this one and the next one, Zinedine Zidane. I have no idea who these people are.
No clue. Yeah, again, football guys.
So we got to think about our audience, okay? And I'm gonna put. We're gonna come. We have two placeholders. We'll come back. Okay, number 23, Sidney Crosby.
Oh God,
And
dude.
you're gonna hate this being a Flyers
I
fan.
know. I know. You got to put him in there. The Crosby, Letang.
He's he.
I
he- I
I
mean,
hate the defenseman. You know who I want to say that line.
Lat- Latang, Malkin.
That's
I
the line.
absolutely. I was a Caps, so I grew up a Caps fan.
Yeah, Crosby,
I
Letang,
hated
Malkin.
this guys.
Yeah, but you can't take away from their success. They've
Oh,
spent the past 20 years together in Pittsburgh, and they did. I mean, they were great. You got
they
it.
were they were very very good, and Kunitz. Oh gosh, like
I
and
can't stand
Flurry
that.
and goal like that.
I hate I Marc-Andre Fleury.
It was like the preppy kids in school that were
That's
just
exactly
good
what it was.
good at everything, and you just
Yeah,
hated their guts. That's exactly what they were to me.
yeah.
But nonetheless, man, hell of a leader. I mean, you got to
You
give it
got
to
it.
him. And people speak so highly of him. And now, like, obviously, it's all ancient history, man. I will say this much. Like, I respect the guy because my guy was Ovechkin. Like, I loved Ovechkin.
Yeah.
So his
I
arch
was
rival
yeah,
was Sidney.
like I was a Flyers fan, or I still am. But I think the time to hate him was like the 2000, early 2000s to like 2015. And then after that, it's kind of like when he's at year 15, it's like you got to respect the dude. You got to respect what he's done. So I would say so.
Does Alex Ovechkin come into the mix
I mean, to represent hockey in the NHL, yeah,
between his attitude, his performance,
yeah,
longevity? He's been the captain since I want to say 2008, 2009 is when I think 2009 is when he became the captain officially. Don't quote me on that. But, talking about a culture, seeing the things he does in the locker room, how humble he is, he really is. And come to find out, he just got his PhD in something. He's Dr. Ovechkin right now. I gotta I gotta make a case for that. If you're gonna have Crosby in, you should have Ovechkin in too.
I
He's
agree.
all-time leading goal scorer.
I
I
agree.
mean, and that's a
Yeah, we'll
record I don't know if
probably
will be
have
broken.
no Flyers to represent this, but
Well, I
unfortunately.
mean, here's the thing. Some of the names that I think of, Bobby Clark. Uh,
I think of Bob Clark. Yeah, like that's a name from Broad Street Bullies. You know, he was his. If you've ever seen the documentary and you know your Flyers history, like Bobby Clark was one of the greats.
and
And they
I'm gonna put
talk
him
about
in,
he was also one of the dirtiest players ever.
and that's when I'm like,
It's like
he's gonna get. I'm
he's
gonna tell
like
you what.
very much known to be like a dirty player in hockey.
But all I
Like,
can see is the smile, missing the two front teeth. Like,
did you watch
and
the documentary? What they said
yeah,
about their when they had a rookie that took a run at him? Like,
I didn't hear that part.
yeah, so the Flyers drafted a rookie when Bob Clark, like when all the original like the Broad Street Bullies, they were trying to win their third Stanley Cup, and they drafted this rookie, and he took a run at Bobby Clark the first day of training camp, and every day after that, he was sent to the hospital. Yeah, they said like this dude 100% took liberties because he knew that he could, and the rest of the team would just beat the shit out of anyone else if they tried to take a run at him.
Well,
But you look at what he did, and when you watch the history of the Flyers, I mean, he's not a big guy. He was a diabetic, um, and that was why a lot of teams passed him up.
he put the Flyers on the map,
I think so.
I would say, and fighting in the stands,
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
that was when hockey was awesome.
That's when
And by the way, like that, it is. Hockey is
Still awesome.
it's almost back, man. Like, and when I say that, it's getting so much popularity now. There's a lot of great media support for hockey now
Yeah,
because of the
there is.
Olympics. And when I'm just, you're not going to have fighting in the stands as much as you used to back in the day, or like stick fights. Like, like that was a
Yeah,
whole different level, man.
it was a whole different
But
level for sure.
another great Bobby Clark story, real quick. Rob Brindamore, coach of the Hurricanes, talks about when he was playing for the Flyers. Bobby Clark was pissed at how they were playing. So what did he do? He's the GM at the time. He gets full padded up. He's 51 years old. Comes out, he's like, let's hit the ice. And he's out there working face-offs with him and teaching him things. Like that to me is kind of like that's cool.
That's
I
cool.
love when a coach gets involved like that. Like
Yeah.
uh shoot. Who's the Lions head coach?
Oh,
Dan,
Dan.
what's his name?
We talk how we're football guys, and we should know this too. Um, it's because it's a late episode.
That's exactly right. Anyway,
That's why.
Dan, I can't think of his last name right
I
now.
love him. It's gonna drive me nuts because I should know his
He's
name. I have. Yeah,
You watch Hard Knocks, he's doing the punishment conditioning with the team. He's doing up downs with them,
Dan
leading
Campbell.
from the front. Dan Campbell, thank you God.
Did you ever see what he said? Like one of the military meme pages I followed, like what he said, like day one of his first year
Yeah,
as
his press
breaking.
conference, which was controversial at the time, but it was
No,
so.
no, no. Like what he
I
said to
mean,
the players. They filmed it.
oh no no no. Well,
Yeah,
maybe
he was like,
yes. I know what you're talking about.
when he said that, he's like, we're gonna outwork everyone, and we're gonna drag our opponents into deep water, and then we're gonna
Yeah.
fucking drown them. I was
Yeah.
like,
Tell me you won't get fired up for that, dude.
dude, I
When we
was
do
like,
when we do the coaches bracket,
oh
Dan's
yeah,
in
he's.
there.
Dude,
100%.
I'm an Eagles fan, man. But if I want to see a coach win one,
It's
like
Dan Campbell.
I would, if the Eagles aren't in the Super Bowl, I want to see Dan Campbell win it.
He single-handedly brought the Lions back. He transformed that culture. Like
He was on their out. He was
that
on their.
blue collar like is he not perfect for Detroit, by the way?
He
Like
is,
just
dude. Yeah, yeah,
um
100%.
well, we'll get to that bracket when we get there. We still got some names to get through.
Yeah.
Next on the list, Wayne Gretzky. I
Yep.
mean, shoot, say less. Next on the list, and we got some good ones here. Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
That's I will say it's early considering some of the names on here, but all in the same. Yeah.
I think you just can't deny one. You can't deny his accomplishments, and two, like we were talking about it earlier in the episode, like you can never count him out. And then you also too, like I do like him as like a person from what I see on like Quarterback and HBO, how he is with his family, how he is with his kids. Like he seems like a very genuine good guy. Like how he is with his wife. I don't know.
You're 100% right, man. He shares, like, I come across his little, because he's a good storyteller, and he said that there was one game in the pre-skate, warm-ups before the game, and I would think it was Rick Tocchet. There's a flyer for you.
Yeah.
Came up to him, and he's like, "Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be on you all series long. You're not gonna do anything. I'm gonna be here all, what is it, 8 games? Is that right? Whatever,
For
whatever game 7. Sorry, yeah,
yeah, 7 games.
I'm gonna be here all. He goes, and Wayne, like as humble as he was just like, "Well, you can do whatever you want, but this is only lasting 4 games." Like,
Do whatever you want, man.
and he was damn right too, because like, dude,
Yeah.
Wayne could freaking. Now we can make a case for the goaltending was kind of piss poor back in the day, but I think for the most part, the guy was incredible. I mean, just he put hockey on the map. Well, I mean, hockey was already on the map, but he was without a doubt the greatest of all time.
Everyone knows who Wayne Gretzky is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that name is is heard around the world. Absolutely. This next one's interesting. So JJ Watt.
See, dude, like I
You might
enjoy
have to
Barstool.
challenge this one, huh? Because I mean,
Yeah, I am. I
yeah,
enjoy Barstool Sports, and Barstool Sports trashed JJ Watt for a
really.
while. Yeah, they would just call him a hardo.
Okay.
Because like when I think of JJ Watt, it's like you have 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do with them? And then in my brain, I'm like, well, I'm going to sleep for 8 of them because I need my rest. You know what I mean? But like, no, on a serious note, I think JJ Watt for sure. I do.
Because I'm trying to make a case not, but I mean, I think he
I
he
don't know if you
was.
can like this. Like
I think he's
he's
yeah. I think he's coming in.
yeah. I think like because he's one of the best, dude.
You know a name that's not on here, and it just made me think about it because okay, let me kind of get ahead here. Number 31 on the list, and let me do this one because, and I know we're skipping a few here, but Russell Wilson's on the list. Let me
Yeah.
let me say this. Let me say this from personal experience. Mm, Russell, very talented athlete. I think he kind of got shortchanged a little bit. Here's the thing, and I'm going to make this. This is a weird comparison, but I'm going to make this comparison, tongue in cheek, to Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson was phenomenal, but he was kind of weird. Like
Yeah.
he
Don't
was
people
kind of he was just a different. Everybody who says it, they're like he's just a different kind of guy, and I get that. Like I
did you
think,
you played with Russell,
oh yeah,
didn't you?
oh yeah, oh yeah. Before yeah, I think so. It was Russell's sophomore year.
When you were at state, yeah.
And look, I have nothing bad to say about him because let me tell you, he always looked out for me. There's a couple times in the weight room, I'm doing like I think it was like back extension or something like this, and he come over like, "I got you, man, I got you." I think he just is a little different. Um, I think for him, it was. I think he genuinely meant all those things, but his personality doesn't seem to come off very authentic, and I think that's the problem. I think he just
Yeah.
has some social issues, but Russell was fantastic. But do I want to say he was a flash in the pan with Seattle? Like I think he will go down as one of the best quarterbacks the NFL has seen on a maybe top 50, maybe. Um,
I think
I
I don't
he
like it's hard, man, because like all my counters to that, my debates are exactly the debates that people hold against Jalen Hurts. And I am biased towards Jalen Hurts because I'm a Philly fan.
right.
But like everything that comes to mind when you say Russell Wilson, I'm like, well, he had one of the best defenses of all time. He had one of the best running backs to ever play the game.
He has some great receivers,
He had unbelievable receivers,
great offensive line. Like
great offensive line.
he
Like
had time to throw the
he
ball.
also for the coaches bracket, he had Pete
Oh,
Carroll,
Pete Carroll.
a guy
Yes.
that should have three-peated at
Should
USC
have. Yep.
and should have three-peated in Seattle.
Yeah. Player friendly coach. Just
Player,
as
yeah,
humble as it can be.
the man.
Um,
But like,
yeah. Yeah. I think here's the thing.
but to be
Russell
complete,
lost the locker room. And that's what you see nowadays. Like he just does not carry influence with him. And
and
that
I
for
and I
me, that's why he's off.
and I think when, and this is gonna like relating it to like, I guess, I think some dudes just become ultra monetized, if that makes sense. Like, like I love Aaron Rodgers, man, but like I just can't imagine Aaron Rodgers influencing a locker room in today, like 5, 8 years ago, yeah, but like today, you're like, I just couldn't. I don't see it, and I don't see Russell Wilson. I think he became monetized, like ultra monetized. Like he was just like he left Seattle, and even when he was there, he was kind of just like this high paying, high ads, high sponsorship quarter. Like he's a celebrity, and like whenever I have conversations with people, like a guy I know, like I coached with a good friend of mine. He has a friend that played for the Jets who's on the Eagles now. And he explained it to me very well. He was just like, some of these dudes are celebrities and it's weird. It's very
Yeah.
weird. And he was like, it's weird to be in a locker room because you have one dude who's like the free agent. And then you have, you have Aaron Rodgers. Fucking, I mean, that's, you know what I mean? And it's like an ultra monetized And when I say monetize, like I'm saying that like, yeah, it makes money, like a lot of outside revenue sources away from the NFL. Like this guy can walk down hot, like anywhere he goes, he's going to be recognized. And I think that's kind of what happened with Russell Wilson. I think when you get to a level of fame in sports, that's just what happens. And you see guys that are able to handle it well, like your LeBron James, like your Tom Brady's, um, like your Peyton Manning's, like, and the list goes on. I think some dudes don't. Um, as
No,
I love Aaron Rodgers, dude. He's one of my favorite, but I'm like, dude, you got to retire.
I think, and yeah, there's that. And I think, I don't know how he was from the early onset. There's not a lot of guys coming out saying, yeah, man, he was such a great teammate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He kind of seems like a dick. Like, I mean,
Aaron
he,
Rodgers. Yeah. Like, well,
yeah, like,
it goes to your point with Russell Wilson being like, he just, like you said, like almost a little like his personality's a little like non-genuine, like comes off as
yeah,
ungenuine.
yeah. It's
Like
almost
I
like he's
feel
just
like,
trying too hard and it's coming off not authentic. Like, and I think
yeah,
that's the best way to maybe put that.
like with
Um,
the Aaron Rodgers thing, like, did you see when the Steelers offensive lineman they scored and he was like, hell yeah, and like pushed him and he fell and he got back up and like fucking pushed him. I'm like, dude, I get it, man. You're old, but shit, bro.
you
You're
gotta take care
you're
of
taking
yourself,
a
man.
hit off the edge that off your blind side that you can't see, and your boy's just pumped.
Right.
Like, but I think that comes with this. I make ridiculous. But like you said, dude, like, and I'm not. I love Aaron Rodgers, but like, I've never heard anyone be like, that guy's a great
That's
teammate.
what, right, right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, versus some of these other guys on here. Okay. So Russell's out. Hey, okay, hear me out on this. To replace Russell Wilson, how about Troy Polamalu?
I think so.
Right? Like,
Great
I think
teammates.
you'd hear good things about
Yeah,
him.
savage of a safety. I mean, the guy left it out there. It seemed like every game he played, every chance he had to make a big play, every chance he had to make
Longevity,
a hit,
and just
longevity. His
yeah,
hair
yeah, his
definitely
hair was
had.
fantastic.
Uh,
And look, he had
he was
some.
undersized too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had some fame. He was on Head and Shoulders. He was doing all that thing.
Was on
Showing off
Head and
that.
Shoulders. Yeah,
But he remained humble. So yeah. All right. So and again, I'm looking back over this list. There's a few names. We may supplement a few more names. How about
for
this?
sure.
Before the next episode, I'll share it with you, and then any adjustments we make. Game plan is next episode we're gonna have the bracket up and
Yeah,
rolling, so we can start dissecting this. But let me finish off the last couple names here. Cal Ripken Jr. I think being a Baltimore native, Cal Ripken was the most famous guy in Baltimore for years. He holds the record for the most consecutive games played, breaking Lou Gehrig's record. Durability, professionalism. I thought, he is not going to be the Barry Bonds. He's not going to be Mr. He was a consecutive All-Star. He
yeah,
was, he led the Orioles to a championship. Um, and I think he was a good example of, the great American baseball player. I think Cal Ripken, I think when you look at the longevity or when you look at the history of baseball, I think his name does stand out. So I think I can make a case for that. But I think when you, like, I just feel like there's so many names we're missing, in baseball and in any other sport where it's like, is this the best one? I don't know, man. Like, he played till I feel like this is not right, but I feel like he played till he was like 65. Like he played a long time, man.
but there, like we said earlier, there's going to be some names on here that we
Yeah,
miss.
yeah.
We're not. You know,
Here's another hockey player, Bobby Orr.
yeah,
Is he up there? A lot of people would say he's one of the greatest of all time, if not top five defenseman. I mean, you can almost kind of say, but he didn't really have a long career. Like he was good and he was
yeah.
in
He
there, and
wasn't.
then he
It was quick. I don't think it was very long, right? Like I think it was.
very long.
It was also before. our time. Like,
Yeah, it's hard because it's coming. We're in a different. It's almost like we need to have like the modern age leadership because it's like it's hard to comment on something that I've never seen him play. I don't know. Um, I'm gonna keep him in for now. Yao Ming.
I don't know, man. I'm not for that. No, I'm not. Count me
I think
out.
I'm in. I don't think he's got me either. So all the Reds, and this will make sense when I send it to you and for our audience. I'm just marking a red highlight over the names that are coming in. Dirk Dirk Nowitzki. I think that's in there for basketball.
I do, but then we're gonna have the basketball fanatics say you put Dirk in there over Yao Ming. But wasn't he,
Or
you know? But
or
like
Chris
Dirk
Paul.
or
Chris
Chris
Paul.
Paul,
Like, yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Or here's the thing, dude, LeBron James isn't on this list. AI generated this thing. LeBron James.
See, AI generated mine and put LeBron there, but I tailored it because I'm like, all right,
That little
you, you
story
here's the thing.
aside,
Here's the thing. You do have, I think you do have to put LeBron on the list
you
because of
have to.
the stories you hear of him. And this is why I say this. The 2013 NBA Finals, Heat versus Celtics, the
Well,
game winning shot.
That Heat team was insane, man.
It was insane. And you almost had to look at the Celtics team that I think it was Chris Paul that hit the corner three and put the
You
Celtics
might
on
be right.
top. And I'm pretty sure it was. And they Miami called a timeout and LeBron went to the huddle and said, give me the ball. Because he hit the game winner of that game. And I
Yeah.
remember watching that because I was going into my senior year, and one of my good friends was like a diehard basketball guy, and I remember watching that and being like, "You gotta." And hearing that story, I'm like, aside from his personal how he carries himself when fans come up to him, which is he's not going to win. He does not have my vote, strictly because of the story in that video I saw. But I think you do have to let him in.
Yeah. I agree.
I
I
think you
agree.
do. By gameplay, by his presence in the locker room, by his presence on the court, by what like the whole debate between Jordan and LeBron. Well, look, Jordan's never lost the finals and he played with the flu. It's like, well, yeah, it's just such a toss up, that whole debate. And I think in reality, I don't want to get into the Jordan LeBron debate
You
because I'm
can't.
not a
And
I'm not a basketball guy, and I don't want
well,
to,
because here's the thing, man. It's like again, it's a different era,
it's a
and
much different era, man.
and
Like,
somebody said it. They were like, I forget, it was either Stephen A. Smith or somebody like Steve. I think Stephen A. Smith has always been Team Jordan, but I think it always comes down to it's like there's never gonna be a final answer. Like it is because
never gonna
there's
be
just
fun.
different generations. And let me tell you something. If LeBron James played in Jordan's day, I'm just saying, hey, you know what? There was probably stronger defense. I will say that
Yeah,
much.
well, that's the whole debate that I always have because I had a boss. Uh, Shout out to Tafari Carter. He was my first boss in recruiting. He was very much Team LeBron. I'm like, well, if any of
So you got into it with him. You were getting
I
into
did
the
because I'm
debate.
like, look, man, I'm not taking away any of his accomplishments, but if you take these teams and place them against that Bulls championship defense, you're going to see a lot of crybabies on the court because like you're talking about an era of basketball where I mean you could debate that it was a contact sport like we were talking about like the Pistons in the late 80s, the battles between the Celtics and Los Angeles, and then you got the 96-97 Bulls. Like dude, those defenses were not too, like I mean dude, they were tough. And then you go into the early 2000s with Shaq.
Hmm.
Watching how Shaq
Oh
and Kobe
yeah.
play. Watching how Allen Iverson plays at 5'9". That's another guy that's not on here. He's a 5'9".
Ooh,
Five,
Allen
yeah,
Iverson.
yeah. Like there's a lot of guys where they talk like they've sat on podcasts, be like, dude, these players wouldn't last if they played. I don't know what happened, man, but I feel like the game of basketball just shifted to where there was no defense. But like,
Or at
so you
least it
could,
only shows up sometimes in like the finals or something, like when it's like and again, we're gonna get the haters on that one, but okay,
yeah, but
make a case that we're wrong.
as the
Yeah.
time limit, and again, this is how uninvolved I am with basketball as a sport.
Yeah, same.
I do like March Madness, but has the time limit in an NBA game ever changed, or has it always been 15-minute quarters?
I think it's been
Because
the same as far as I can remember.
okay, because I know in the 3-point line, it's like 20 feet, 22 feet, 24 feet, or it's 18, 20, whatever, right? It goes back by 2 feet, which is a pretty large margin when you look at it. It's like, oh shit, because I couldn't hit a 3-point shot if my life depended on it. Like, I think when you look at that and you're like, how is the time not changed, but the points have gone up to you're seeing teams score 130 points in a playoff game. It's like, okay, so you're not prioritizing any form of defense because the time limit of the game has never changed, but the scoring has gone up. And yes, you could say the talent has gone up, sure. But like if the talent's gone up, it has also gone up on the defensive side of the ball. So we're neglecting it's just a shootout, it seems like, and the team with more shooters wins. And like the one guy that's willing to play defense.
And I think even you saw this in The Last Dance. Jordan was talking about like guys back in those days, they would be getting hammered after games, smoking cigarettes, doing cocaine. There was a different level
It's a different
of
level, man.
commitment and moral responsibility. I guess you want to put it that way.
For
But yeah,
sure.
no, you could definitely make a case for defense is kind of going downhill a little bit. More emphasis on the points for sure. All right, last name here, Drew Brees.
Undersized,
Undersized.
Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah,
He has the most passing yards, right?
I think he does.
He
Longevity, um, class act, won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award at one point. So I don't know. I mean, let me just look at some of the coverage here because I know we're missing some guys.
oh
Here's one that we didn't talk about. Jack Lambert.
yeah.
That's like does that knock out Drew? Well, there's a couple. Like I said, we had a couple yellows on this list. Abby Wambach. Was Jack Lambert a better leader than Abby Wambach? I don't know. Here's the thing. I no disrespect to Abby Wambach, but I might have to put Jack Lambert in.
So this is a hot take, and I don't think anyone's going to agree with it. Eli Manning. This dude gets so much hate, and I don't
He
know why.
does.
I don't know why.
Here's
And
another awkward guy,
just
right?
another awkward dude. Kind
But
of looks like a little bit of a crybaby.
but
But like,
he would. I heard a lot of good stories from Eli. I think Strahan talks very highly
dude,
of
Eli
him.
Manning has 2 Super Bowl rings. He's
Yeah,
a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and might I add, everyone forgets about this. He beat Tom Brady in the undefeated team on that last drive, 4th and long, the catch, the helmet catch.
the Beckham. Was that Odell Beckham? No, that
No,
was Victor Cruz.
no, it was I forget the receiver's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But the helmet catch,
Yeah,
that was first down. I mean, when you look at him, how many tackles he broke in the pocket when it collapsed. He beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl.
I know. Being an Eagles fan, we hated playing the Giants back in those days. They were good. Tom Coughlin, he was. I mean, he was.
Love Tom Coughlin.
For lack of, he was a tough nut. He was a tough one to deal with, and he ran a tight ship. Held his guys accountable.
Well,
By his,
when we compare Drew Brees and Eli
yeah,
Manning,
that's a good comparison.
right? On paper, Drew Brees is the guy.
And here's the thing: the Saint. I would argue maybe the Saints have one Super Bowl with with Breeze?
Yeah, so Breeze has 1 Super Bowl, Eli has 2. Now
But they were
Breeze,
damn good, like every
they were good,
year
man.
under Sean Payton.
Drew Brees out through total passing yards at 80,000 compared to his 53. I was just comparing the two because I
Yeah.
was like, you didn't say Eli Manning, and
Again, longevity,
yeah,
stayed healthy. Again, just a class act. Yeah, I mean, I think he I think I see Drew Brees holding a locker room better than Eli.
for sure.
Eli doesn't have the longevity working with him. He doesn't have the long track record of success, but it was a short window of time, a couple of years where he was dominant and he had some good, back to back, right? Back to back. I know
No,
they
he
got two,
it
but I don't think they
was
were back to back.
it was 2007 and 8, and then
Okay.
it was so I was in the 6th grade when the Giants won, so 7 into 8, and then they won it in it might have been 15 or 13. I know they played the Patriots twice and they beat them 2 times. And I know Odell had a crazy catch in 1 or 2, and that's why you say that, because I'm pretty sure it was like this crazy sideline catch.
He had an incredible catch at one point. I know that.
Well, the
I can't.
famous one where it was like that,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
That's what I'm thinking
fucking
of. Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
he also came out and said just recently that it's very hard to live with only having $100 million to your name. So just food for thought if you want to put a cap in it tonight. He said that in all seriousness. So, yeah, that popped up on my feed. I after seeing that, I actually told myself, I was like, I'm not gonna go on Instagram when I wake up because I want to have a good day. And and then when I see a podcast platform talking about how Odell Beckham Jr. talked about it's not he can't live off $100 million. It makes me like I would. You can give me a mill.
I understand why some of these guys kind of just live humble lives. Like I feel like Devontae Smith's one of them on the Eagles where he bought like just regular mid-sized home, nothing crazy. It's like, yeah, dude, and then invest that, set up a couple businesses on the side, like, and you're set, man. Like, I mean, like that.
Shohei Otani.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
is,
That's right,
and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow,
dude.
and they have not touched one single penny of their NFL salary.
You got like, and I know we keep coming back to Michael Jackson, God bless him, but he enormous wealth, but he spent a ton and he got into some
Yeah,
financial issues later down. It's like you have so much wealth, just be smart with it. You don't have to everybody knows you're famous. You don't need to be showy about it. It's not, again, that's your ego talking. And again, sorry, bro. Can't even say I can relate. But I'm gonna tell you what. That's your problem, deal. I'll delegate that to you. So anyway, to put a kind of a button in there, because I'm thinking of names here that are not on this list, like Jerome Bettis would be another good one.
the bus.
Just the bus. So we'll revisit this list offline, and we'll give you the updated list next week. We hope to have a bracket for you guys next week, and in this bracket, we're gonna rank them one to. Let me see what it.
32.
Yeah, so let me share the bracket one more time. This little fancy little layout here. My apologies, I'm not the most tech savvy here, but here's the bracket. Okay, here's what I want to do too, Joe, is we need to come up with some names for these brackets. And we have the military aura around us, right? I'm thinking we come up, each bracket is a famous military leader. Like, hear me out on this. We got the Chesty Puller bracket on the top
Yeah,
left.
that'd be cool.
Right? And we got to come up with some other like awesome names for the other ones. But we'll rank them. I think let's just whatever, one to 8. We'll just say that for each bracket. So each bracket will have a number, like Jordan will be probably number 1 in one bracket. Who else is on there? Here's a list I've been making. Ray Lewis may be number 1 in the other bracket. So,
Yeah,
but the whole one last thing I just wanted to say is because we got to go about this as smart as we can. to give our audience, some good content to take home. So when we evaluate each team and they go head to head, we got to have a scoring rubric. And I think that's the best way to do this. And the best way that I think how to do this is kind of the leadership principles that we teach, which is we score them based on, number one, it's professionalism. And in my opinion, there's the best way to judge somebody on their professionalism is the Marine Corps' JJ to tie buckle. I think that's a great way to kind of describe their professionalism. Professionalism is the first category. And what I mean by that, by JJ to tie buckle, is justice, judgment, dependability, initiative, decisiveness, tact, integrity, enthusiasm, bearing, unselfishness, confidence, loyalty, knowledge, sorry, I'm getting out of order here. Knowledge, loyalty, endurance. And I added one more to it. So it's actually JJ to tie buckles, plural. The last one is sense of humor. I thought it was a good way to kind of do that. That's the first. So professionalism. Number two, leading by example. Number three, accountability. And number four, caring for your teammates. And I think if we focus on those four, absorb as much content as we possibly can, I think we can get to a number, knowing that content's going to be, we're at the mercy of what's available. Okay. But I think this is going to give the audience something to take home as to, what demonstrates a good leader, why there's some people that aren't on this list, and why are some leaders not able to overtake their opponent, in some categories, because in order to be a leader, you got to be good at these things. And there's going to be some things you're good at, some that you're not. Like we talked about in the very beginning, good leaders, okay, should have good tact in how they deliver information, okay? And as we had some good examples to share in the beginning, some people need to work on that. So I think this is going to be fun, man. I think it'll be a good way to kind of just let's have some fun with this. We'll put together the bracket. Hopefully, have this done for you next time. I'm going to stop sharing that. And yeah, I think that'll be good way to kind of wrap things up for tonight.
Right on, dude. I'm excited.
All right. Stay tuned. And until next time.